The new Fable reboot has been revealed to the world, guys, even though it was a very short trailer, nothing really, kind of just a teaser trailer, giving us an announcement that Fable is coming back. And of course, guys, this is one of Xbox's exclusives that is a really special franchise, to say the least. I mean, I've put Fable up there with games like Gears of War and even Halo. I mean, this is a franchise that has a very, passionate fan base, and something, a franchise that has had so many people wanting to see a continuation here. And I'm really excited, guys, that Fable is going to be coming out at some point or another. Maybe it'll be in, the next few years or something. It's hard to say, what stage of development Playground Games is in with this game. However, we know that it's coming, and that is really exciting for all of us who are Fable fans. And with that, guys, I wanted to go ahead and talk about the top 5 things that we want in Fable. And with that, guys, when I say we, I'm going to be giving you guys my opinions here. Some of you may agree, some of you may disagree. Let me know in the comment section down below what things you want to see in the new Fable, the Fable reboot. So let's get into it. So coming in, guys, at number 1 for me, I believe it's been a long time, right? Since we've seen this franchise, Fable 3, it's been a while. And so in my personal opinion, and in the fact of the matter that this game is called Fable, now maybe it's going to be called, something else, at some point or another, they'll come up with a new name or, something of that nature. I want to see a soft reboot, and I think we're kind of getting teased that here. And the reason is, guys, is because I think that the first 3 games, that was kind of like a trilogy. And now I think that the soft reboot here with Fable would be really great to kind of draw in new people who never played the original 3 games. I think that it's a great time, obviously, with the Xbox Series X coming out. They're going to, of course, have this backwards compatibility where you'll be able to play all of the Fable games all the way back to, the original Xbox and such. And so what I'm getting at here is this is a great time to you can kind of get a hands-on experience with the Fable franchise. It'll be at your fingertips with the Xbox Series X, and that kind of leads us to the new Fable, which can be like this soft reboot, this kind of new take on the beloved franchise, which I'm really excited about. And I think it can, really do things in a way that tie in maybe to the original 3 games, but kind of is on its own. And that leads me to number 2, which to me, guys, what's really important here with the new Fable game is having new characters, new enemies, new locations, of course, new environments and such to explore. And with that, guys, there's, of course, going to be, fan favorites, whether that be characters or enemies or locations and such that people really love. But I think it's going to be important with this reboot, if this is a soft reboot, I think it's really important that, there are new enemies and there's also new characters. There can be existing characters and existing enemies, existing locations from the other games to give you some familiarity. But I think it's also really important to have, more than, than just like, you don't want it to be like a copy and paste of the older games, essentially. You really want this to be something that they have, constructed in a way that, just creates this living, breathing place that we really enjoy, able to spend, hundreds of hours in, and there's so much to explore, so much to kind of take in and such. I think that's going to be really important. And that comes to like locations and environments and such, guys. I think it's important that we have certain places that are familiar to us from the original games, but also things that are different, things that are new places to explore. I think that would be great for this franchise moving forward. And so, with that, guys, that leads me to number 3. And at number 3 for me, guys, is, this might be somewhat controversial, but I think it's important that Fable, when we're moving into the next gen consoles, and it's been a long time since we saw a Fable game, I think it's important that there's more ways than just one that we connect with this franchise, and that being, of course, multiplayer and co-op modes. And look, when I say that, I'm not necessarily saying that there has to be PvP, but when I'm saying that based on maybe having PvE elements to it, or I'm not saying that Fable has to have a battle royale, but like having different ways at the end of the day that we can connect with the franchise outside of the story. The story is probably going to be exciting, and I can't wait. Even if it's not a great game, guys, as far as from the story perspective, at least we're getting another Fable, which is really exciting. I think, though, that having multiplayer modes, having co-op modes like co-op missions and such, after you're done with the story, because typically after you're done playing a campaign a couple of times through, you might play it once and then you move on to another game. You might play it twice, look for all the collectibles and such, kind of take your time. But after you beat it a couple of times, you most likely are going to move on to other games if there's not other things to do. So with Fable, if we have multiplayer and co-op modes, it brings you back and it continues building upon this idea of the legacy, the lore, the story that is, you know, Fable, and it helps just build upon that fan base that they're trying to build here. They want people to come back to these games over and over again. It's an Xbox exclusive, so I'm hoping we see that. And then coming in, guys, at number 4 for me, which is having more ways to customize, just more customization options, essentially, is what I'm getting at here, is having more ways that we can customize our characters, customize, you know, whatever we, you know, all of the different things that kind of make Fable what Fable is. I think it's important that there's a lot of customization options, and I'm talking earnable items, guys. I'm not talking about the payable items. Having payable items most likely will come, you know, microtransactions are riddled through pretty much all the games nowadays. But what I'll say is this: having things that you can earn within the game, earn within the campaign, earn within the co-op missions, earn within the multiplayer, those are things that bring you back, to bring you like continually back to you know, to play Fable as a game. And so I would love to see more customization to your characters, to weapons, to just everything, guys. I think that would be great for this franchise moving into this new reboot for Fable. And that leads me, guys, into number 5, which obviously, guys, I'm assuming we're going to get a pretty nice sized open world here from the looks of, like, the, you know, obviously we didn't see much, right, from the reveal trailer, but I'm assuming we're going to get a pretty nice expansive world. It's been a long time, so I'm hoping that we will get a really nice expansive world. And the last thing for me, though, is that I would like to have more things that we can do along the journey. So, you know, side missions and just there's you know, things that we can do throughout the course of the journey. There's a lot of open world games, guys, that are very open, that have, you know, all kinds of places that you can explore, but there's not much to do a lot of times on the journeys to those places. There's just, it's kind of like dull landscapes, not really, you know, great, you know, environments and locations and such. I want Fable to really wow me when I'm traveling through this world and such, and having multiple things that I can do along the way, whether it be side missions or there's strangers on the road that, you know, you can do things for, or, you know, all kinds of different things to do, guys. I think the more that you can do within the story that are at least options, I think is going to really help the overall, you know, game as a whole. But with that, guys, that is, you know, the top 5 things that I want to see in Fable. One thing that I would say is an honorable mention is I'm assuming, guys, that Xbox is investing money, you know, a good amount of money here to get Fable made. And I don't think that they're doing it just to make one Fable. I think that they're planning a very long franchise here, which is what I'm hoping for. But what I want to see with Fable is I want them to set up these other games. Whether we're talking this game, let's just say this game, for example, is a prequel to the original 3, or it's a continuation, or just like a soft reboot, whatever it is, I want to see this game set up the next generation of Fable games, and I hope we get Fable games much more regularly than we have between Fable 3 and this, you know, Fable reboot. But with that, guys, those are the main things that I want to see in the new Fable game. Let me know in the comment section down below, what are your top 5 things that you guys want to see in Fable? Let me know down there. And for more Fable content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.